Chief Minister, this referendum result wasn't what you wanted. How concerned are you now then for Gibraltar?
Well, the people of Gibraltar have spoken very clearly and with one voice, with 96% overwhelmingly saying that they wanted to stay in the European Union because of the concerns that we have in Gibraltar, that Spain might try and use the frontier if we haven't got the right of free movement of people in a way that cannot be controlled, as it has been until now, by the European Commission, to guarantee that the 12,000 people who come into Gibraltar every day to work from Spain are able to do so unhindered by any controls which might be outside what you would expect.
Gibraltar, as you mentioned there, voted differently to certainly England and Wales. Should that be taken into consideration in whatever happens next?
Remember that the United Kingdom is made up of 4 separate nations and that Gibraltar itself is a separate jurisdiction to the United Kingdom. We're not part of that definition. And we know the result of the vote of each of those nations and of Gibraltar as a separate jurisdiction. So I think the obligation that we have, because Gibraltar has its own constitution, its own parliament, as do the devolved nations of the UK, the devolved parliaments, the obligation that we all have is to give effect to the views expressed by the British people of each of those constituent parts. Now, it may be that we can all act together by finding a way forward, which is for the whole United Kingdom and Gibraltar, or that we want to work together to give effect to the separate views expressed. All of this is not about thwarting the will of the British people. It's about giving effect to the will of the British people, either as one or in a way that is better able to accommodate the separate views expressed.
And on that line, Brexit means Brexit, says Theresa May, the Prime Minister, as of tomorrow, we expect. So, how do you square that? How do you square that with the Gibraltar result, and you also as a Gibraltar government wanting to be still part of the European Union, with Spain just over your shoulder?
Well, I think Theresa May has played a blinder in this leadership election. I've worked with her at the Home Office. She's a very sensible and careful person when it comes to the work that she needs to do. She's done it in the security space. When she said Brexit means Brexit, I think she's got the very clear view that she has to give effect to the will of the people of England and Wales and the rest of the United Kingdom. But I think she's also left open what the shape of Brexit will be. And I think there, all of us together can work to shape that future, to fashion that future in a way that works for all of us. The way that she intends to approach the Article 50 process, which I think is exactly the right way to do it, which is to calmly look at what the national plan for Brexit is and then press the button, is, I think, something we can all get comfortable with. We can all get behind it, and it's a process that we can all form a part of. Look, at the end of the day, we may have different points of view, and we may have an obligation to pursue those different points of view, but I think she has created an opportunity for a national debate that will also include Gibraltar, that could be the right way forward, and which may enable us all to work together for a Brexit that means different things to different people and provides the real opportunities that we are all looking for.
Should Gibraltar then come up with a different deal? If so, what kind of deal? What could that look like?
Well, remember that Gibraltar has had a different deal for the past 44 years. We are not part of the Common Customs Union. Recently, we were talking with the Minister for Europe about the possibility of forming part of Schengen if the Schengen group agreed, and there was agreement in the United Kingdom that we could pursue that. Gibraltarians have an identity carnet, something which is not recognised for the rest of the United Kingdom, but the EU recognises the British ID card for Gibraltar. So having different degrees of membership of the European Union has been something that's worked very well for Gibraltar for the past 44 years. It's not new. The Channel Islands have a different sort of status. They're out of the EU with different types of access. These varying degrees of membership are exactly the sort of thing that can work very well indeed.
What are you trying to achieve here in Brussels? Nicola Sturgeon was here a few weeks ago. Are you trying to pull a Nicola Sturgeon and with meetings at high representatives from across Europe, kind of get some kind of agreement that perhaps you should get some kind of special status?
The reason I'm here is to meet Commissioner Moscovici. He wasn't able to see me when I was here 2 months ago. We agreed this was a date which I could make and he could make. These are important issues relating to taxation, where Gibraltar wants to demonstrate repeatedly that we are working to ensure that Gibraltar is on the same page as the European Union. We want to continue to form part of the single market, in particular in relation to matters which are corporate and in relation to financial financial services. That's why I'm here. I want to also take the opportunity to express to those who I'm going to meet what it is that the people of Gibraltar voted for on the 23rd of June, and why therefore our result was so clear on the 24th of June when we were the first to declare in the context of the UK's referendum on membership of the European Union. That's the point of being here. It's my obligation to give effect to the will of the people of Gibraltar.
That's not your only meeting. You're meeting with MEPs. I've also just seen you meet with the head of Scotland's office here in Brussels. You've obviously got some idea of common aims, have you, between yourselves in Gibraltar and Scotland?
I've met also with Ivan Rogers, who's the representative of the UK government, of UKREP here. I'm going to meet with colleagues from all the ideological groups in the European Parliament. That's the work I do whenever I'm here. Nothing has changed in the process of my visiting Brussels and continuing to seek to influence people here to understand what the point of view of the people of Gibraltar is, and to try and fashion the future for Gibraltar within the European Union or within the European single market in a context that is the right context for Gibraltar.
Spain has said no separate deal for Scotland. Clearly it's going to also say no separate deal therefore for Gibraltar. That puts you in a very difficult position, doesn't it? Because those other member states of the European Union have the potential to block any special deal, any special arrangement that Gibraltar and indeed Scotland may try to reach.
Look, I think that we need to be imaginative and positive in trying to leverage the best possible opportunities here, not just for the people of Gibraltar and the people of the United Kingdom, but for the people of Europe who want the European project to succeed and proceed. And I think unimaginative approaches like simply saying no or vetoing things before they've even been considered is not what the future of Europe is about. It's what brought Europe to a situation where even a state like the United Kingdom has voted as it has in the last referendum, is the disassociation between people and politicians and institutions in Europe that we have to fight against. That's what I'm here to do. That's the point I make in every opportunity that I have. I'm about the Europe that the people of Gibraltar want to see. That's my job to deliver. And if somebody wants to say no, well, look, it's up to them. No is a very easy thing to do. It doesn't help to build or construct things. And the people of Spain who live around us, the 12,000 people who come across our frontier every day, the quarter of the GDP that we contribute to the region of the Campo de Gibraltar, I think that's what matters more. That's the engagement we need to have. And I think less vetoes and more positive engagement is what we need to see from governments around the European Union.